Hey, what's happening, everybody? Peter Linto with you. We will be getting started in just about probably about 6-7 minutes. So I am going to free of charge entertain you with some DJing. Come on, man. You didn't think you were going to get this kind of service tonight. So sit tight. Figure about 6-7 minutes. We'll get started. Let me see. What kind of music does this group want? My goodness. Chad, you got any? What do we want for this group?
Something to get us rolling. Wake us up.
Wake us up. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's wake us up. All right, we got a nice wake us up mix. All right, wake us up mix. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
I make it to a pines and take your baby by the heel and do the next thing that you feel. We were talk in bed and I dance all dance. We were cool on Christ. When you and everyone when you believe to sharing what was true. I said, that's all that love. You make your mind. Take you back to my shrine. And I'm gonna need all night and a little bit more. I don't know how you like it. I'ma need all night and a little bit more. They don't know how you like it. I'ma need all night and a little bit more.
I like it, Peter. I like it.
Let's go. We got about 3 minutes.
I am woken.
3 minutes.
You should make up your mind. Take you back to my shrine. Don't you pay them no mind. Let them be, let them go. She was made for my eyes. We escaped the time. And I'ma need all night and a little bit more. I don't know how you like it. I'ma need all night and a little bit more. I don't know how you like it.
happening, everybody? It's almost fixed income time. We got another 2 minutes, another 2 minutes. We got to do some living and learning. What's happening, everybody? We got a couple minutes till we get started. We got lots and lots of people logging on, so be patient. I know you want your duration and convexity, whether you're from Hong Kong or Schenectady. Let's go. Two minutes, getting ready.
This is a story of kind of stuff. The dog is tail will be busy. Rhythm of dog. I'm a dog.
What do you think, Chad? Another song, or are we ready to go? You want to give it another song, another minute?
Let's give it 30 more seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and you got back of the house tonight. You got Doug and Sam, and they are live.
Let's go. Doug and Sam in the house.
In the house, Mr. Roberto.
Sam, I am. 30 seconds, Sam. 30 seconds. What'd you say, Sam? Did you say bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay? Is that what I heard you say?
Wow, wow. Woof, woof.
Something like that.
Something like that. Something like that.
Oh my goodness. What's happening, everybody? Welcome aboard Fixed Income and Duration, but we're going to go well beyond that. You're going to get your money's worth tonight. Oh my goodness, it's actually a free event. So there's no cost monetarily, but there's certainly a cost in terms of your time. So we plan on using your time wisely. Our goal tonight is to show you kind of what our questions look like, what our solutions look like, our teaching methodology. So yeah, we want to give you a good overview of fixed income, but before I take it away, I want to talk a little bit about UWorld Finance. So very, very proud organization. I mean, you want to talk about high stakes exams, people going to do your, God forbid you need brain surgery. Chances are that brain surgeon was trained with UWorld. God forbid you get arrested for not studying on a Saturday night when you should be. That's right. That's a crime. You're going to want to hire one of those UWorld educated lawyers. So the high stakes exams, folks, you're in the right place. So everything from medical exams, bar exam, CPA exam, and right here, all 3 levels of the CFA exam, we got you covered. My name is Peter Olinto. I'm one of the lead instructors here at UWorld for both CFA and CPA. Proud member of the team, and it is a phenomenal team. Little bit, heard of jack of all trades. Well, I'm his cousin Pete, so as you can see, just what I really am is a professional test taker. So between the CPA, 3 levels of the CFA, the bar exam, fortunate enough to pass every exam I ever took on the first attempt. Very proud. But Lord knows it's not because I have a high IQ. Sam, am I right or am I right about that? He's silent. He doesn't know what to say. So yes, so this is about work ethic, having a good plan, and sticking to it. So you're in the right place here as far as getting trained for your CFA exam. And as a thank you for attending, 2 things. We are going to send you an email with the recording from this webinar, and we'll be doing a lot of different areas in fixed income, and I always go over time. So while this might have been scheduled for 2 hours, you know we're going to do more than that. But we also want to give you 25% off the course if you decide, hey, you want to enroll. So here is your opportunity to take advantage with this discount code. And how nice, Sam, you all named it after me. Thank you so much. So I'll put that back up on the back end. The next page is for the end, so I don't want to show that just yet. Sam, take it away. Say hello to the group. Sam is my boss, folks. So he's probably the world's proudest CFA. Sam is actually probably the world's oldest CFA. Is that right, Sam? You took the exam when you and Moses, right, studied together?
Well, the abacus, right? That was the popular. So yeah, it goes back a way. Been a minute. So I did want to just welcome everybody. Thank you all for taking some time out of your day, and you're certainly in for a treat. I mean, this is an area that people knows very well, and I think you're going to get a lot of benefit from it. And again, as he said at the beginning, the best thing about it is that at no cost to you. So just sit back, get the benefit of Pete's extensive knowledge on this, and got a question during the presentation, fire it up, and we'll respond. Take it away, Mr. Olinto.
Thank you so much, Sam. Sam, I just want to confirm, can you see my screen with the question on it?
I do see it.
Wonderful. All right, folks, away we go. One question. You ready? We'll start off with some basic theory. First of all, the concept of duration itself. How are we going to look at duration on the exam? There's 2 ways of looking at duration. You could look at duration in terms of sensitivity to changes in interest rates, right? That makes sense. Sensitivity, changes in interest rates, but it's also very helpful for theory type questions to also look at duration in terms of time, kind of a payback period, time to recoup the cost of that bond. So a couple of different ways of looking at duration. Predominantly, we'll look at it in terms of volatility, sensitivity. We may have to quantify duration. If they ask you to quantify duration, you got to know this formula inside and out, so you might as well make your flashcard with me. You're going to take the high price. We're going to move rates down. Price is going to go up. You're going to take the low price. We're going to shock rates up. So your numerator is the volatility, the spread between the potential high price and the low price. You're going to divide that by 2 times today's price, P subscript 0, times your change in rates expressed as a decimal, folks, basis points. So if it were 1 basis point, 0.0001, you go out 4 decimals, okay? So that's our formula for duration. Again, look at the spread in this numerator. The bigger the spread, the higher the duration. The higher the duration, the greater the volatility, the more sensitive we are to changes in rates. You need to know, when are we going to have high duration? When are we going to be very sensitive to those change in rates? Number 1, the longer the term to maturity. All right, so the longer the term to maturity, the more sensitive we'll be to changes in rates. As we get closer to maturity, that bond value is going to be pretty much equal to what? The par value. So we don't care where rates are. Once that bond, 30-year bond, gets a day away from maturity, it's going to be priced at $1,000. Number two, you have a low coupon. Think about recouping the initial cost. You can use the cash flows on that bond, the coupons, to recoup the initial cost. If you got a low coupon, it's going to take you longer to recoup that cost. And or you paid a high price. Folks, when you paid a premium, coupon divided by price, what's another way of saying you paid a premium? Your initial yield, that yield to maturity, is lower than the coupon. You paid a premium. Well, when you pay more than face value, more than par value, it's going to take you longer to recoup the price of that bond. Okay, here we're looking for which of the following is least likely, reading comprehension, a yield duration statistic. Well, your money duration and your price value of a basis point, both of those are yield duration. So my correct answer is effective duration. That's more of curve duration, which we'll talk more about in a second. If they ask you to calculate money duration, get me the present value, the full price of that bond. I need that full price. You multiply it by your duration, which we'll see later. We'll see an example. That's your money duration. Your price value of a basis point. Tell me the present value, the full price of that bond. I want that present value, the full price, multiplied by your duration, expressed as a percentage. All right. And then you multiply that by 0.0001. That's one way of getting the price value of a basis point, although I'll show you another way in a little bit. Your effective duration, folks, I want you to think of curve duration. I also want you to think about the impact that options can have on the price of that bond. All right. So when you initially think of a bond, you think, hey, here's my duration. It makes it look like if rates are here, but rates go low, my price will be here. Conversely, if rates go high, that my price will be here. It makes it appear as though the relationship between price and yields is linear, when in fact it's not. It's actually curved. So if you understand the concept of curvature, convexity, you're going to be in great. If you could draw the letter C, you're going to understand convexity. You see, when rates go down, price is going to go up faster than duration alone would project. Positive convexity. Conversely, when rates go up, price is going to come down slower than duration alone would project. Again, positive convexity. Alrighty, so curve duration. Now, what I need you guys to also do is understand if the bond is callable, there's a cap on value. We may not have that upside potential. If there's a cap on value, the call price, well, that gives the issuer the right to do what? Refinance if rates go down. Issuer has the right to refi, but if and only if rates go down, then that call goes in the money. So your high price might not be so high anymore. Alrighty, we might have a cap on that upside. Conversely, if rates go up, price comes down. The bond might be puttable, a floor on value. The investor has right to put that bond back and reinvest at today's higher rates. So this is when the put goes in the money. And what you're going to see is a floor on value. You're going to have, I like to call it extra positive convexity. Even a straight bond is going to show evidence of positive convexity, but the puttable bond will have that extra positive convexity, that floor on value. So all of a sudden, when you quantify your duration, the low price isn't so low anymore. So whether it's callable or puttable, what does that do to the spread in the numerator? If the price doesn't go so high or the price doesn't go so low, lower spread, lower duration. So folks, whether the bond is callable or puttable, what does that do to duration? It makes it go down. You're going to get your money back sooner if that bond is callable or puttable. That effective duration is going to take into account the impact that call or put has on the price of that bond, thus the sensitivity it has to changes in rates. Alrighty, anytime a bond is callable or puttable, it's not going to be quite as sensitive as it would be as if it were a straight bond, no cap on value, no floor on value. So callable or puttable, what does that option do to duration? It makes it go down. Alrighty, so that effective duration is very helpful in assessing that sensitivity. Okay, a couple of other things here. Modified duration, which we don't have here, but I just want to mention modified duration. What is modified duration? The percentage change in price given what? A single basis point change in rates, okay? So we're going to quantify all of this with examples, but ironically, people think, hey, the fixed income's got to be very math intensive, just like accounting or quant. What makes the question so challenging is that a lot of times these concepts are tested in theory. So you really need to understand, not just memorize formulas, okay? So you really need to understand what's happening. All righty, one question down, lots and lots to go. All right, they tell me interest rates are gonna rise. What's that gonna do to the embedded call option? Folks, remember, for the call to be in the money, rates have to be moving down. It's gotta be such that the issuer is gonna wanna refi at a lower cost. So if interest rates are rising, the call is going to go where? Out of the money. The call is going to decrease in value. All righty. So with callable bonds, what does it look like again? When rates are low, here's today's rates. Here rates are high. When rates are moving down, that's when the call goes in the money. So a straight bond, you're going to see that price moving up nicely, not the callable bond. That price is going to be capped out. There's a cap on value equal to that call price. So that's when we're going to see negative convexity, folks. That's when we see the concept of negative convexity, reducing the value of that bond. So when the call is in the money, rates are moving down. You got the price of the straight bond, negative convexity, minus the call. There's the price of the callable. As rates go down and the call goes deeper in the money, you're going to see a greater divergence between the price of the callable and the price of the straight bond. If you like spreads and you've got your Z spread, we'll talk more about that later, a static spread, a single spread that we're going to add to various government spot rates. So a single spread that when added to government spot rates, we're going to be able to calculate the price of this bond, okay? If you take the Z spread, that takes into account the term structure of interest rates. We're going to discount future cash flows, not at a single yield to maturity, but various spot rates dictated by term to maturity. And as a general rule, the yield curve is positively sloped. The longer the term to maturity, the higher my required rate of return, right? It makes sense. So normally we'd expect the yield curve to be positively sloped. Hey, you got to pay me to give up my preference for liquidity, okay? So Z spread minus the value of the call in basis points. I now want to consider the impact of that embedded option. That's what the option adjusted spread does for you. It considers the impact of that embedded option. So folks, that call is going to go deeper in the money. When rates go down, that call goes deeper in the money. Your option adjusted spread will be less than your comparable Z spread. When you see call, you think negative convexity. Now, when rates are high and moving higher, the call is out of the money. Price of the straight bond minus the value of the call, zero. Price of the callable is going to converge less than or equal to the price of the straight bond. When you look at your Z spread minus the call, the value of the call in basis points, when rates are moving up, the call is out of the money. If the call is out of the money, you're subtracting nothing. So your Z spread and your option adjusted spread are going to converge. Your option adjusted spread is always going to be less than or equal to your comparable Z spread, okay? And there's your call. Everything and anything you ever wanted to know about a call. Okay, puts, it's the exact opposite. Folks, with a put, the investor has a floor on value. Investor has floor on value. So again, here's your price yield relationship. All righty. So here are today's rates. Here's the price of the bond. Okay, now if rates move lower, your put is out of the money. But when rates move higher, that's when your put goes in the money. That's when we have to consider the value of that put option in the money. Now remember, even the straight bond is going to show us what? Positive convexity, divergence from that slope. The price is a little bit higher than where duration alone would project. When you consider that floor on value, the put price, okay, when you consider that floor on value, here's the price of the puttable extra positive convexity. Price of the straight bond plus the value of the put. As rates go up, the put has more value. The price of the puttable is going to be greater than the price of the straight bond. If you like your Z spread, you add extra positive convexity, the value of that put in basis points. As rates go up, the value of that put goes deeper in the money. Your option adjusted spread will be greater than your comparable Z spread. But when the put is out of the money, the price of the straight bond and the price of the puttable are going to do what? They're going to converge. Your Z spread and your option adjusted spread will converge, okay? So that is our value of understanding the put, the call, the duration, the convexity. Now, let's take a look at another question. The holder of a puttable bond. You're the investor. So folks, you always buy the underlying bond. You buy the bond, think of that as an outflow, and you got the long side on the put option, the right to put that bond back on the issuer so you get your money back to reinvest at today's higher rates. Think of that as another outflow. So what does that do to the initial cost of your bond? What does that do to the initial cost of your bond? It makes it higher. Holding your coupon constant and the price being higher, what does that do to your initial yield? So your job, your ethical obligation is to explain to your client the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and cons of various positions. So folks, the downside of paying a higher price is, well, your con, your disadvantage is you're going to have a lower yield. But you're assuming less risk. How? You purchased a floor on value. You purchased a floor on value. That put price acts as a floor on value. So if rates go up, you're not stuck with that crappy bond paying that low, older rate. You want to get your money back and reinvest at today's higher rates. So the holder of the bond, think of it as a package. They buy the underlying bond and they buy the put option. So they purchased the bond, the underlying bond, and they purchased a put option right on the money. Okay, so think of it in those terms. Now, with a callable bond, let's say it's a callable bond. From the perspective of the investor, you buy the underlying bond, you got the long side on the bond, you have an outflow, but then you're on the short side, you sell the call option back to the issuer. Think of that as an inflow. Now it's a package, so what does that do to your initial cost? Holding all other factors constant, that inflow offsets that outflow. Your initial cost is lower than it would have been otherwise. Folks, with an initial cost that's a little bit lower, what does that do to your initial yield? Well, your initial yield, holding all other factors constant, is higher than it would have been otherwise, right? But you're assuming more risk. How are you assuming more risk? Call risk held by the counterparty, that is held by the issuer. It's a cap on value. You sold a cap on value. If rates go down, the price of straight bonds is going to go up, but the price of your callable bond is going to have a cap on it. So you're assuming that call risk, okay? So there's good news and there's bad news, okay? So whether it's callable, puttable, pros and cons. The pro is, yes, you have that higher initial yield, but you're assuming that call risk. If rates go down and price goes up, you're going to wish you had a straight bond as opposed to that callable bond, okay? Now, when a bond is put, when the investor exercises the put, they get their money back sooner. So folks, what happens to duration when you get your money back sooner? Duration goes down. You're less sensitive to those rates going up. Granted, the price of a straight bond is going to go down, but not your puttable. You got that floor on value. You now have the right to reinvest proceeds at today's higher rates. All right, so you have the right to reinvest those proceeds at today's higher rates. When it's a callable bond, on the other hand, when it's callable, the issuer holds right. Investor gets money back sooner. So duration is down. You're going to get your money back sooner, but investor must now reinvest at today's lower rates. Okay, at today's lower rates. Folks, the only time you're going to see negative convexity, a callable bond, when rates are going down and that call's going in the money. Okay, if the call is out of the money, then it's like a straight bond. All you're going to see is positive convexity. So folks, remember, here's our price yield relationship. If you have a relatively small change in rates, look at this. Here's today's rates. It goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit. Let's say less than 10 basis points. Then duration alone is going to give you a good estimate, will give a good estimate of percentage change in price. But folks, when you have a relatively large change in rates, greater than 10 basis points, rates go down, price goes up faster than duration alone would project. Rates go up, price comes down slower. You're going to start to see that positive convexity. So the convexity is the curvature, the second order effect. You need to consider convexity when you have a relatively large change in rates. Let's say greater than 10 basis points. You need to start figuring that convexity. Puttable bonds and straight, you're only going to see positive convexity. The price is always a little higher. That's great. Callable, you'll see positive convexity when the call is out of the money, rates going up. The only time you'll see negative convexity is when the call goes in the money, rates are moving where? Lower. And now the market is anticipating the issuer calling back that expensive debt to refinance at today's lower rates. All right, he said it's the only time we're going to see negative convexity. Straight bonds, puttable bonds, only positive convexity. All righty. Woo, baby. All right, let's do it. Let's try another one. Which of the following is most likely? We are looking for true statements here, true statements. All things being the same, a lower coupon bond is going to have lower interest rate risk. When you have a lower coupon, it's going to take you longer to recoup cost. That means your duration is higher, not lower. You're not going to have lower interest rate risk. You're going to have higher duration. That's a false statement. All things remaining the same. A lower yield to maturity. Well, let's see. Why would you have a lower yield to maturity? Your yield is going to be lower when you pay a higher price. So you paid premium. You think your cost is higher. It's going to take you longer to recoup a higher cost. So we're thinking higher duration, longer duration. You're going to have higher interest rate risk. That is correct. So only statement number 2 is correct. All righty, only statement number 2. Okay, so you want to find your percentage change in price. You want to find your percentage change in price. You're going to find your percentage change in price if it's a small change in rates, just looking at duration alone, what they call the first order effect. You always put a minus sign in front of your effective duration. You always put a minus sign. Why? Because there's an inverse relationship between price and yield. Always express your duration as a percentage. Alrighty. Then you multiply that by your plus or minus change in rates expressed as a decimal. You go out 4 decimal, express it in terms of basis points, and that'll get you your percentage change in price. Okay. If you have a relatively large change in rates, if you've got a relatively large change in rates, and they ask you to calculate that percentage change in price, put a minus sign in front of that effective duration expressed as a percentage, multiply it by your plus or minus change in rates. Then you're going to consider the second order effect, the convexity, the curvature of the price yield relationship. You're going to take 1/2 of your convexity, which remember, usually positive, but could be negative if it's callable and rates are going down. So be careful. Then you multiply that by your change in rates squared, and your rates are in basis points. So the question becomes, calculating convexity at level 1. Look, you're going to have to do it at level 2. It's a building block. They'll probably give you convexity, but if they don't, hey, it's your high price plus your low price minus 2 times today's price, divided by today's price times your change in rates squared, and again, your rates expressed as a decimal, basis points, and therein lies your convexity. If convexity is higher, price will be a little bit higher. So the commonly asked question is, hey, what's going on? Like, how come it's not linear? How come when rates go down, price goes up faster, but when rates go up, price comes down slower? You know, why is that? Why are we more sensitive to the lower rates, yet we're less sensitive to the higher rates? Why is that? Do you remember what you learned in quant? Asset prices are not normally distributed, because to be normally distributed, what's got to happen? You've got to be able to go from negative infinity to positive infinity for you to have a normal distribution. Well, asset prices are not normally distributed, because asset prices can't go below what? 0. There's no negative value. It's positively skewed. Remember that log normal distribution? Think of that as well. Folks, there's a natural floor on value. Yeah, when rates go up, price is going to come down, but why slower? They can't go negative, right? Worst thing is, company goes bankrupt and that's it. It's worthless. Okay, so there's a natural floor on the downside, but there's no cap on the upside unless we got a callable bond. All righty, so think of it in those terms. Okay, let's try another one. The market price of a callable bond is least likely to lie where? So you got the price of a straight bond. Whatever you see called, you think negative convexity. That is held by who? The issuer. Right to refinance when rates go in what direction? When rates go down. So folks, if that call goes deeper in the money, the price of the callable is going to be less than the price of the straight bond. But if the call is out of the money, let's say rates are high and moving higher, let's say the call is totally out of the money. Here we got the call in the money. Rates are moving down. So folks, if rates are high and it's out of the money, you subtract nothing. The price of the callable is going to be equal to the price of the straight bond. So folks, the price of the callable is always going to be less than or equal to the price of the straight bond. It's not going to be above the price. They will converge. The price of the straight and the price of the callable will converge when rates are going up and that call goes out of the money. Okay. So they want to know which of the following. Oh, least likely. False. This is actually the correct answer, because these two are true. They were looking for least likely. They wanted a false statement. A is false. It's not going to be above the price. It's going to be less than or equal to the price of the straight bond. When it's a puttable bond, you got the price of the straight bond plus the value of the put. The put's going to be in the money when rates are moving and rates are moving up. The higher the value of the put, price of the puttable will be above the price of the straight bond. But you got the price of the straight bond, positive convexity, but the put is out of the money. Why? Rates are low and moving lower. You add nothing. So the price of the puttable will be equal to the price of the straight bond. There's not two A's in straight, at least not last time I checked. So the price of the puttable, that will be greater than or equal to the straight, but the prices will converge as rates are moving down, okay? And that put goes out of the money. Now, the value of calls and puts on bonds, the value of calls and puts on bonds, highly correlated with the standard deviation of interest rates. With calls, the rates have to be moving and they got to be moving down. With puts, rates have to be moving and they got to be moving up. If they tell you the standard deviation of interest rates is expected to be 0, the yield curve is flat. We expect no change in rates for that time period. Okay, if there's no change in rates, calls are going to be out of the money, puts are going to be out of the money. I love to sell things and collect money for calls that are never gonna be in the money. Okay, I would love to collect the money on the sale of a call. Okay, the puts are going to be out of the money. Okay, so let's try another one. Now let's crank some math. Here we go. They want money duration. You start with the question stem. They want money duration. Are you guys loving this stuff or what, man? Let's go. We got a 5-year annual pay bond. So our term is 5-year. Par value 2.5 million. The modified duration 4.25. Full price 102.55. So you're going to step number 1 when you want to do your money duration. You're going to take your 2.5 million par value. You're going to multiply it by 1.0255%. What is our full price? Well, that par value, 2.5 million times 1.0255%, 2,563,750. Okay, you get your full price. Okay, then they tell us our duration, our modified duration times 4.25. You take your full price, multiply it by your modified duration, you get 10,895,937.50. You have just calculated your money duration. Now, what the hell do you do with money duration? Okay, and obviously money duration is heavily dependent upon what? The size of your position. Okay, so money duration, money, always thinking about the size of my money. All right, my money's on my mind and my mind's on my money. So the bigger the size, the better. We're talking about the money there. So we like more money. So 10,895,937.50. So what do we do with that money duration? Once you have, if they give you, let's say you're given your money duration, you multiply that by your change in rates expressed as a decimal, basis points, therein lies your change in price. So let's just say we've got this money duration. Let's pretend that's given information. And let's say we have a change in rates. They change rates 10 basis points. All right, let's say rates go up. We know price is going to come down. So we multiply that by a positive 0.0010. What's going to be my change in price? $10,895 and approximately 94 cents down. So when you're given the money duration, you multiply it by your change in rates expressed as a decimal. Now you have your change in price, $10,895.94. All righty. Cool. Let's try another one. We're rocking and rolling, baby. Do you feel it? Thinking about all that money you're going to make after you're a big time charter holder? Come on, man. Let's go. All right, follow-up question. They tell us we got a 50-point increase in the yield to maturity. We know our money duration. This is a carryover of the prior question. Money duration, 10,895,937. All righty. We just said we're going to change rates. Rates are going up, multiply basis points, 0.0050. Price is going to go in what direction? Let's see if I even got to do any math. Price is not going to go up. Rates go up, price is coming down. No change? No, there's going to be a change. Price is going to fall. All right, so without even doing any math, but obviously if you crunch the numbers, price would go down by 54,479.69. Now, what if you were not given money duration? Okay, what if you were not given money duration? Your percentage change in value, put a minus sign in front of your duration, times your plus or minus change in rates expressed as a decimal. They gave us 4.25 expressed it as a percent. Rates went up by 50 basis points. So my percentage change in value, it's going down by 0.02125, 2.125% decrease in value. A negative times a positive, negative, price is down. Okay, now, what was my full price? My full price, we had 2.5 million, but it was trading at 1.0255% of par. So it was trading at 2,563,750. Multiply that by a negative 0.02125. Price is down by 2.125%. How much value are we going to use? Take that full price, multiply it by 2.125%. Price is going to be down by 54,479.69. Same result, different formula. Okay, same result, different formula. All righty, so percentage change in value, step number one, you want that change in dollars or whatever the currency is. Step two, take that full price, multiply it by that percentage change in price from step one, and there it is, your reduction in value. All right, sweet. Let's try another one. Okay, we've got an investor who plans on holding a bond until maturity, a long-term investor. Now, to earn a bond's initial yield to maturity, you take your present value, your cost, your future value, your term, your coupon, you solve for I. Let's say it's annual pay. Let's say it's annual pay. For you to earn that initial yield to maturity, you got to hold the bond to maturity. All payments are made on time. Made on time. You hold it to maturity, no sale. All payments made on time, and most importantly, all coupons reinvested at that initial yield to maturity when bond purchased. What's the probability of that? Very, very low. Obviously, as rates change, that's going to affect your reinvestment. So your actual, your true yield, your actual or true yield. How do you get that actual or true yield? You take the future value of your coupons plus your selling price or par value if you hold it to maturity. You divide that by your purchase price. Subtract 1, that's your holding period return. 1 plus your holding period return, raised to 1 over the number of years. Subtract 1, there's your annualized yield, your actual yield. All righty. So when you're a long-term investor, what are you mostly worried about? What's going to dominate the return on that portfolio? What's going to dominate is the future value of the coupons. When you're a short-term investor, you're going to sell. What dominates is the selling price. All right. If you want a high future value for your coupons, you actually hope rates go up. If you're a short-term investor and you plan on selling the bond, you want a high selling price, you hope rates go down. All righty. So everything is dependent upon your particular client's time horizon. What are they going to do with this bond? Do they need cash? I need cash now. JG Wentworth, I need cash now, liquidity. All righty. So an investor who plans on holding a bond to maturity is least likely. What are they not going to be as concerned with? Interest rate risk. Okay. Also known as price risk. They're not so worried about that. This is what short-term investors are worried about. Credit risk, everybody worries about. Short-term, long-term. All right, if they can't pay their bills as they become due, we got a big problem. Short, everybody worries about that. All right, when you're a long-term investor, you're mostly worried about reinvestment risk. So how do we know if somebody's a long-term or short-term investor? Macaulay duration, folks. Macaulay duration, MAC. I like to call it MAC-E. You're going to take Macaulay duration and you're going to subtract from that the investor's time horizon, and you are going to quantify something called the duration gap. The duration gap. All I need to know is it positive or negative. That's what I need to know about this duration gap. So let's say you got a short-term investor, Macaulay duration minus a relatively short period of time. Your duration gap will be positive. That tells you you got a short-term investor. What's going to dominate is the selling price. So they hope rates go down so the selling price goes up. Their risk is that rates go up, selling price comes down. That's that price or interest rate risk. Now, on the flip side, let's say you have Macaulay duration minus the investor's time horizon, but let's say that's really long term. You take that Macaulay duration, you subtract a long time, folks, you're going to have a negative duration gap. Anytime you see negative duration gap, you mean, oh yeah, that's got to be a long term. At 5 minus 8 is a -3. Forget the 3, negative. Negative long-term investor. They want to maximize the future value of their coupons. They hope rates go up. Reinvestment risk dominates. Reinvestment risk is what dominates when you're a long-term investor. All right, so that's the purpose behind quantifying Macaulay duration, which I'll show you how to do later. Mostly it's about using it. Okay, but that Macaulay duration and comparing that to the investor's time horizon to see is my duration gap positive or negative. And not because you memorize MAC-E, M-A-C minus I. And is the I a long term? 5 minus 3? 5 minus 8, a -3? Or is it short? Macaulay duration is 5, and let's say the investor's time horizon is 2. Or make it 1. 5 minus 1, oh yeah, +4. Positive, short-term investor. All righty. Let's try another one. Start with your question stem, not the facts. You have no idea what to do with all those facts. You got to start with the question stem. Okay, they want the approximate convexity of this bond. All righty, so fair game. Mostly I need you to know what to do with the convexity, but let's practice it. Take your high price plus your low price minus 2 times today's price divided by today's price times your change in rates squared. Make sure this is expressed in basis points, a decimal. All righty, so they tell me initial yield to maturity 6. Here's my price today, 101.7893. 2 times 101.7893. All righty, we're going to shock rates by 5 basis points, 0.0005, 0.0005 squared, and today's price, 101.7893, is going to get multiplied by 0.005 squared. Okay, the plus sign means, folks, if rates go up, price is going to come down. There's my low price, 101.52. If rates go down, price is going to come up. There's my high price, 102.06. Add the high and the low, subtract 2 times today's price. Your numerator is 0.0014. Today's price, 101.7893 times your change in rates squared, 0.000025. Go out at least 6 decimals, folks. That is approximately 56, closest to choice C. There's your convexity. What do we do with convexity? Second order effect. And that's an ugly 56. Sorry about that. Second order effect, the curvature of the price yield relationship. Okay, that is the curvature of the price yield relationship. Remember, we're more sensitive to the low rates. When rates go down, price goes up faster. We're more sensitive to the low rates, but when rates go up, price comes down slower. We're less sensitive. If you could draw the letter C, you understand convexity. All righty. So look at how steep that slope is when rates are low. Look at how flat that slope gets when rates are high. Change in the dependent relative to the change in the independent. Change in price given the change in rates. Okay, there's your slope. But it is not linear. Okay, it is not linear, it's curved. All righty. Now, start with your question stem. We now know our convexity. Follow-up question, 56. All righty. Estimate percentage change in price, 100 basis point increase. Rates up, price is going to go in what direction? Down. Okay, so price is going to go down. But the question is by how much? All righty, so let's do the first order and the second order effect. My percentage change in price, put a minus sign in front of your duration, times your plus or minus change in rates. There's my change in rates. Plus 1/2 times my convexity, 56, my convexity, times my change in rates, 0.0100 with shocking rates by 100 basis points squared. This is called your first order effect, just looking at the linear and then considering the curvature. That is your second order effect. Excuse me. Okay, so they gave me my duration, approximate modified duration. So we put a minus sign, minus 5.36% times a positive 0.0100. Ignoring the curvature, we would say price is going to go down by 0.0536, 0.0536. All right, let me just double check that. Is that a 6.3 or a 3.6? Let's see, 0.0536. Okay. We're not going down by 5. That's what price would go down if there were a linear relationship. Prices, when rates go up, price is going to come down slower. So we are not coming down by 536 basis points. We are not coming down by 536 basis points. We're coming down by less than that. We got to factor in the effects of convexity. So this holds up the value. So we have the minus 0.0536 minus 536 basis points, but then the convexity is 0.0, that works out to be 0.0028. So the actual change in price is going to go down, but only by, when you take negative 536 basis points and add 28, price is only going to go down, it's only going to go down by 508 basis points, 0.0508. Correct answer, choice B. All righty, so duration alone would have the price going down by 536 basis points, or 5.36%. Not quite. Price is going to come down, but slower than duration alone would project. Duration alone would have it down by 536, not quite. Only down by 508 basis points. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm still sharing. All righty. Hey, guys, can you still see my screen? I touched something by mistake. Chad, Doug, Sam, you guys still there?
Or grasping onto every word you're saying.
Oh, beautiful. I thought you were taking it. I thought I heard snoring. I could have swore I heard snoring there, Sam. I'm glad I didn't put you to sleep. All right, beautiful. All right, next question. You ready? They want to know, what is your effective duration? This you got to know at level 1. You got to be able to calculate it. So we're thinking my high price minus my low price divided by 2 times today's price times my change in rates expressed as a decimal. Do not square it. Look at the volatility in the numerator. Okay, we got a callable bond. That's why we need effective duration. Modified duration you don't want to use when you have a bond with embedded options or you've got a large change in rates and we want to start considering the curvature, the negative convexity, the positive convexity. You want to use effective duration. All righty, that curve duration. All right, the bond is currently trading at 102.5. We got one piece of the puzzle, 102.5. Sounds like a radio station. When the government par curve, when they raise rates, price falls. That's my low price. And when it is lowered, value of the bond goes up, 104.51. Now, they did not give me a call price. If they gave me a call price, don't use a price above the call price, but I don't have a call price here. If it's puttable, don't use a price below the put price. If it's callable, do not use a price above the call price. If it's puttable, do not use a price below the put price. But I don't see that here. So my spread in the numerator, 104.51 minus 100.6 divided by 2 times 102.5 times my change in rates, 0.0025, 25 basis points. I get 7.47. There is my effective duration. All right. What does 7.47 mean? Here's my percentage change in price for a 100 basis point change in rates. All right, so if we shock rates by 100 basis points, I would expect my price, ignoring the effects of convexity for now, 7.47%. All righty, 7.47%. Beautiful. All right, let's try another one. You get this one wrong, hopefully you have a sharp object, because I want you to take that sharp object, put it in your right ear, and pull it out your left ear. Here we go. When the investment horizon is greater than Macaulay duration, Mackey, my investor's time horizon is long, it's greater than, make up whatever number you want, investor's time horizon. So let's say Macaulay duration is 6 years. Macaulay duration is measured in years. Make up a number bigger than 6, 10. You'd have a -4. The key is negative, that you have a negative duration gap. That means we have a long-term investor. They want to maximize the future value of their coupons. They hope rates go up so they can maximize the future value of the coupon. Their risk is that rates go down. That's reinvestment risk. And that will reduce the future value of their coupons. Remember, your selling price or par value, if you hold it to maturity, your future value of your coupons plus the selling price or par value divided by your purchase price. That is your holding period return. Subtract 1, and there's your holding period return. So when you're a long-term investor, what you're mostly worried about is the future value of the coupon. We need rates to go up. So reinvestment risk dominates. Okay, so that's a true statement. Reinvestment risk dominates market price risk, and the investor is concerned about rates falling. If rates go down, future value of the coupon goes down, the holding period return goes down. Right on the money, true statement. Market price dominates when you're short term. And when you're short term, you're not worried about rates falling. When you're short term, your risk is that rates go up and your selling price goes down. C would have been your answer for short-term investors. C is the right answer for short-term. Market price risk dominates. You're going to be selling soon. Okay, and the investor is concerned about rates going up, not down. Okay, rates going down would be good news. That would maximize your selling price. Okay, let's try another one. Let's see. It's easy. Let's do this one. Here we go. Like it. How you doing out there, guys? If you haven't covered fixed income yet, let me explain what's happening here, folks. At UWorld, Just want to make sure I'm still sharing. Folks, at UWorld, the process is number one, you watch the pre-recorded lectures first. That's step one in the process. You watch the pre-recorded lectures first. This is where we teach the concepts. We teach the must-know concepts. We teach it and we do our initial practice. All right, you watch the pre-recorded lectures first. Step two, you practice our questions. You grease the skids. You practice our questions. And then step three is actually what we're doing today. What I'm doing today illustrates what's called our Saturday virtual classes. Folks, what we do in our Saturday virtual classes, this is where we review, but mostly we apply. And that's kind of the step we're on right now. So if you haven't studied fixed income, you might be like, oh my God, no worries. I mean, this is illustrating step three in the process. And then folks, step four, for the key topics for your quant, your financial statement analysis, your debt, your equity, your portfolio management, as well as your ethics. End of chapter questions in the CFA Institute you got to do for these heavily tested topics. That additional practice is warranted. I'm not saying corporate finance, econ, derivatives, alternative. I'm not saying those are unimportant. I'm just saying, relatively speaking, assuming you have time constraint, these are the topics I want you to get greater than 70 on, because that'll pay dividends not only in level 1, but levels 2 and 3 as well. All righty. So you want the low hanging fruit in the econ, you know, the corporate finance, which is relatively easy. If you understand the accounting, debt, and equity, you understand the corporate finance. But, you know, the derivatives, the alternative investments, and the econ in particular, 50 to 70 is fine. These topics are what I want you to rock. All right. So we're kind of on step 3. So bear with me. All right. They tell us the investor has an investment goal. The bond is going to be sold on June 1st, 2015. At what price do they need to sell it? Well, let's see. An investor buys a 10-year bond at par. So my cost is equal to 100 on June 4th, 2012. All right. So now they buy it June 1, 2012. They're going to sell it pretty much June 4th, 2015. So it's got a 10-year term. They're going to sell when the remaining term is 7 years, 10 minus 3. So they're going to hold it for 3 years. Okay. And then they're going to sell it when the remaining term has 7 years. All righty. Annual coupon. So my term 10, my coupon annual 10%. Let's see, the reinvestment rate. All righty. First coupon 9%, second coupon 8%. Stop right there. Lot going on. Step number 1. What am I looking to calculate here? You ready? They tell me this investor expects a 12.5% annualized total return. How do you get that again? Future value of the coupons plus the selling price divided by the cost minus 1. There's their holding period return. 1 plus that holding period return raised to 1/3 because their holding period is 3 years. Subtract 1. They want that number to be 12.5%. They want that number to be 12.5%. So ultimately, this is the calculation we need to do. All right, we know what our cost is. Step 2. Why am I yelling at you guys? My cost is 100. I want an annualized rate of return of 12.5% per year for 3 years. 12.5% per year for 3 years. So I'm going to multiply that by 1.125 raised to 3. Where do I want my future value to be? My future value, 142.38. That's principal and interest. 142.38. Okay, that's where I want my principal and interest to be. All right, that's 1 plus my holding period return. All righty, 142.38 in terms of dollars. Okay, step 3, my coupons. I got a par value of 100 times my coupon rate 10%. That's a coupon of 10. My payment is 10. I'm going to get my first coupon at the end of year 1, 10. That can then be reinvested, on the first coupon 9 and then at 8%. So they can earn, let's see, 9%, right? 9%, and then they're going to earn 8%. So folks, the future value of my coupons, that very first coupon, I'm just going to round 11.772. At the end of year 2, I'm going to get a coupon of 10, but now I can only reinvest that at the 8%. The second coupon, right? Yeah, the second coupon, I can reinvest at 8%. So 10 times the 1.08, $10.80. At the end of year 3, I get my third coupon, but no reinvestment. I get the $10. So the future value of my coupons, I got that to be 35.572. There's the future value of my coupons. All righty. Now, the future value of my coupons plus my selling price divided by my cost, I want that to equal 1.4238. Principal and interest, 1.4238. All righty, 1.4238, 142.38. All righty, so 142.38. So let's see. And I'm sorry about that. I got my decimal in the wrong place. 142.38. All right, that's where I want my future value to be, principal and interest. Started out with 100, going to earn 12.5% per year for 3 years. I already know my future value of my coupon. I got one piece of the puzzle, 35.572. I know my cost is 100. The question is, what does my selling price have to be such that my principal and interest will be 142.38? Well, obviously working backwards, okay, you could take 142.38, subtract the 35.572, that's got to be 110. 110. All righty, so you know it's got to be 110 your selling price. All right, so if you take 35.572, you add your 110, you divide that by your purchase price of 100, that's going to get you 1.4238. And I had this right the first time, 1.4238 times your initial investment, 100, future value 142.38. But here's my principal and interest. Subtract your 42.38% is your holding period return. Agreed? And that's over 3 years. Your holding period return over 3 years. All right, so the 35.572 plus the 110 divided by the 100, 1.4238. That's 1 plus my holding period return. Okay, the 1 being your principal. Now take 1.4238, 1 plus your holding period return. Raise that to 1 over your number of years, subtract 1. 1 over the number of years we left this invested. Subtract 1. Let's see what our annualized yield is. Annualized yield. So 1.4238 raised to 1 over 3, subtract 1, that is approximately 12.5%. My annualized yield. And that was actually given in the facts, right? My annualized yield. We wanted an annualized yield, I believe, of 12.5%. So if we have an initial investment of 100, we want future value 142.38, principal and interest. Okay, so we've got to have 1 plus our cumulative return, 42.38. We will get that 142.38. Come on, computer, don't screen. There we go, 142.38. By the way, now, what does the yield need to be? I need a selling price of 110, okay? I need a selling price of 110. So folks, you want to be able to sell it, and when do we want to sell it? We're going to sell it on June 4th, not January. Sorry about that, folks. June 1, 2012, June 4th, 2015, approximately 3 years. What does, and we're selling it on June 1st, not June 4th. Why do I keep saying June 4th? What does the yield need to be? What must the yield be on June 1, 2015, so we can sell at 110? Well, let's see. If it's going to have a value of 110, someone's going to buy it at 110. Future value 100, a payment of 10, 7 years to maturity, 10 original term, 3 years have gone by. What does that yield need to be? I got 8.07%. The yield needs to be 8.07% on June 1st, 2015, such that we could sell it for 110. But that's how you find your true return. This is how you find your true return. My holding period return, 42.38%. My holding period was 3 years. To annualize that, you take 1 plus the holding period return, raise that to 1 over the number of years, subtract 1, 12.5% annualized rate of return. Excellent. Okay, see what else we got. Let's try a theory question. People say, hey, Pete, you know, some of these questions are long. Yeah, folks, you have an average of 1.5 minutes, but some questions like this one is going to take you closer to like three or 4 minutes, no doubt. But you have other questions like this, no math involved, where you got to get it right, and you better get it right quickly. All right, let's take a look. They want to know which of the following is most likely. I'm looking for true statements. Statement number 1, all things remaining the same. A callable bond is less sensitive to a change in interest rates than an otherwise identical non-callable bond. True. Why is that true? Remember, whether it's callable or puttable, you're going to get your money back sooner. Duration, time goes down, you get your money back sooner. All righty. So the duration of the callable bond will be less than that of the otherwise non-callable. All other things remaining the same. A puttable bond is more sensitive to a change, not more sensitive to a change in interest rates, less sensitive, lower duration. When it's puttable, you get your money back sooner at the investor's option. At investor's option, when rates are up. When it's callable, you get your money back sooner. The downside is you now have to reinvest at today's lower rates. Either way, you get your money back sooner. If you get your money back sooner, time is going down, duration is going down. You are less sensitive to those changes in rates, okay? So only statement number 1 is true, statement number 2 is false, so only statement number 1 is correct. All righty, sweet. Let's try a nice easy math question. Here we go. They want to know what is the price value of a basis point for this bond. Price value of a basis point. Okay, price value of a basis point. If they give you your duration, multiply it by today's price, multiply it by 1 basis point, 0.0001. Just take your duration, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. When you have such a small change in rates, we're going to have pretty much the same level of sensitivity. This is this region here. When you have a really, really small change in rates, you subtract 1 basis point or you add 1 basis point, you're not going to see any convexity. It's immaterial. Duration alone would give you a good prediction of the change in price. All righty, so what did they give us here? Let's see. We've got a newly issued 5-year, 7% annual pay bond. Good. Let's see, price right now is 96, so we got 1 piece of the puzzle. Per 100, the yield 8%. All right, so this is what we got to do. We're going to have to shock rates by 1 basis point. All right, we're gonna have to shock rates by 1 basis point. So here we go. We got a future value of 100. We've got a payment, 7% annual pay. I've got a payment of 7. Okay, I got a term, 5-year, it's annual. So your payment is 7. You don't have to divide that by 2. We don't have to take 5 and multiply it by 2. It's annual. Okay, I'm going to shock rates. I'm going to add 1 basis point. When yields are at 8, coupon divided by price, yield. With a coupon of 7 and a price discounted of 96, the yield was 8. Okay, the yield being greater than the coupon, how are we going to get that market, that yield of 8 when you're only offered a coupon of 7? They ain't going to pay par value. They'll pay less than par. They'll buy it at a discounted price. That gets the market the yield they desire. I'm going to shock rates by adding 1 basis point. So with rates going up, present value is going to come down, but the question is by how much? All right, so now I solve for present value. I get, let's see, 95, 97, 95, 97. So the change in price, 96 minus 95, 97, my change in price, it went down by 3 cents. Okay, went down by 3 cents. Now I'm going to shock rates again by 1 basis point. Everything stays the same, except now I'm going to subtract 1 basis point. I'm going to enter 7.99, solve for present value. Now I get a present value of 96.05. So now my change in price, 96.05 minus the 96, 5 cents up. Now, ignoring the sign, add the change in price together, the total change in price, ignoring the direction up or down, 0.08. Divide that by 2, price value of a basis point, 0.04. That's one way of doing this. Let me show you another way using this formula. If they had, let's solve for duration, by the way. Let's solve for duration. Let's take our high price minus our low price divided by 2 times today's price. We shock rates by 1 basis point. All right, we got a high price of 96.05. We got a low price of 95.97. There is my change in price. Divided by 2 times today's price, 96, change in rates, 0.0001. We get duration of 4.166667%. Let's round it to approximately 4.17%. There is your duration. All righty, 4.17. Now let's plug that into this formula, see what we get. Duration, 4.17 expressed as a percentage, times today's price times our change in rates, 1 basis point. What do you get? Same result, 0.04. Same result, different format. All righty, so if they give you duration, use it, multiply it by today's price times your change in rates, 1 basis point. If they don't give you duration like here, you still got to find your high price and your low price. But look at the change in price relative to the old price and the new price. The old price and the new price. Just ignore the sign. Add the change in price together, divide it by 2. There you go. Price value of a basis point. Let's go. All right. You feeling it? You feeling confident? Feeling something? I'm not sure what it is, but I'm feeling something. All right, let's try another one. Which of the following is most likely? Chad, they want to know which of these is most likely. Which of these is true? See what we got. All other things remaining the same. Do we like convexity? Yeah, when price goes down, price goes up a little bit faster. We like positive convexity. When rates go up, price comes down slower than duration alone would project. Positive convexity. That means the price is a little higher than where duration alone would have it. It's a little bit higher. All righty, so again, it's a little bit higher. So it doesn't matter if rates are low or rates are high, so long as the bond is not callable, the price is always a little bit higher than it would be otherwise, okay, if we ignored convexity. So all things remaining the same, a bond with higher convexity will outperform one with lower convexity in both bull and bear markets. I don't care if it's a bull market or a bear market. It's irrelevant. The price is always a little bit higher so long as convexity is positive. So the higher the positive convexity, the better. But there's nothing free in life. A bond with a higher positive convexity is going to cost you. All right. But nonetheless, we like that higher convexity. So that's true. Callable bonds exhibit negative convexity. True. At low yields, when rates are low, call goes in the money. True. But traditional fixed rate bonds and puttable bonds, they exhibit positive convexity at all yields. That's true. I don't care if rates are low or rates are high. Whether it's a straight bond, puttable bond, the only thing you'll ever see is positive convexity. And in this region here, it's not to say there's no convexity, it's relatively immaterial. Duration alone, first order effect would give you a good indication of percentage change in price. But if you want to go out 0.00000 like 25 decimals, you're still going to see some convexity. So both of those statements are correct. Beautiful. Who's better than us? I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think so. All right, let's try another one. Ready? You liking this stuff? Take a picture. Here we go. They want the estimated horizon yield. What's your actual yield going to be? Well, the future value of my coupons plus my selling price or par value, if I hold it to maturity, divided by my purchase price. Subtract 1, there's your holding period return. There's your holding period return. You want my annualized yield? If they ask for the annualized yield, 1 plus the holding period return, raised to 1 over the number of years, subtract 1. There's my average annualized yield, my geometric mean, my single growth rate to get me from that beginning value to that ending value. Okay, so an investor buys a bond at 90. There's my purchase price, 8% annual coupon. All right, so my payment is 8. So I got a payment equal to 8 and a 5-year life. Investor estimates can sell the bond at a yield to maturity of 7% after 3 years. So we're going to hold it 3 years is going to be my holding period. So 2 years till maturity when sold. Okay, we can reinvest the coupons at 5%. Stop right there. Step number 1, let's find the future value of your coupons. I got a payment of 8. I'm going to have 3 coupons until I sell. I is my reinvestment rate. My reinvestment rate, 5%. Solve for future value. And 3 is the number of coupons received. Okay, and then we're going to sell it. So the future value of my coupons, and again, that's 100 times the 8% is your coupon payment. Number 3, yield 5%, 25.22. I got the future value of my coupons, 25.22. We got another piece of the puzzle. Okay, next step, selling price. When I sell it, there's going to be 2 years remaining till maturity. Okay, my yield when I sell it, 7%. Yield, market rate when sold. The yield, the market rate when sold. My payment is 8. My future value is 100. Solve for me the present value, your selling price. What is going to be the selling price of this bond with 2 years remaining till maturity? Let's see. I got 101.808. 101.808. 101.808. So therein lies my selling price. Future value of your coupon plus your selling price divided by your purchase price. I got that to be 1.41. Let me get it exactly. 1.411422. So that's my principal and interest. That is my principal and interest. Take that 1.41142, subtract the 1, 41.114%. That is your holding period return. 1 plus my holding period return. 1 plus my holding period return. Let's see. 1.411422. My holding period was how many? 3 years, I believe, right? We sold it after 3 years. Subtract 1, my annualized yield, 12.17%. There is your annualized yield, 12.17, choice B. Okay, so my cumulative return over that 3-year time horizon was 41.114%. All righty. 1 plus my holding period return, raised to 1 over the number of years, subtract 1, there's your annualized yield. Okay, your geometric mean, your single rate to get you from your beginning value to your ending value. Okay, from your beginning value to your ending value. Beginning value was 90, your ending value, the sum of these two, here was your present value, there is the future value. All righty, so it's 25.22, future value of your coupons plus your selling price. Okay, now Macaulay duration here, by the way, how would we calculate Macaulay duration if we had to? This was a 5-year bond, right? Let me just show you. Mostly with Macaulay, you need to know what to do with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have cash flow. I'm going to do this. What was it? 8% coupon. All right, I'm going to do $1,000 par. Okay, $1,000 par times 8%, you have an $80 coupon payment. All right, I want to do the cash flow. You're going to have 80, 80, 80, 80, then 1,080. Now I want the present value of these future cash flows, the present value of these future cash flows. All right, and what is the present value of these future cash flows? Okay, the present value of these future cash flows. Let's see. So when we bought this bond, I know I paid 90. So let's see, future value 100. I paid 90. My term was 5 years. My payment was 8. What was my initial yield? And by the way, you could do this as 1,000, 900, 580, same result, just a different format. Okay. What must have been my yield when I bought the bond? My single yield to maturity, the bond's internal rate of return, the single discount rate that will set the sum of the present value of those future cash flows. 5 cash flows. What is the single yield to maturity? The single yield to maturity, not spot rates, individual spot rates, but single yield to maturity. Okay, if I discount each and every one of those future cash flows at that single yield to maturity, will set my price equal to 90, the cost of the bond. I got 10.684%. That is my single yield to maturity, the single discount rate that will set the sum of the present value, the future cash flows. That single discount rate is the bond's internal rate of return. That single discount rate, the yield to maturity, 10.684%. You discount each and every future cash flow at 10.684%. Sum it up. That will get you today's price. All righty, corporate finance. You know that from corporate finance. Okay, that's the bond's internal rate of return. And the only way you're going to earn that internal rate of return is if every coupon's reinvested at what? 10.684%, which is highly unlikely. Okay, if I were to discount every cash flow at 10.684, So let's take the 80, discount it back, 1.10684 raised to 1, 80 divided by 1.10684 raised to 2, and so on and so on. The present value of my future cash flows, this is how you get your Macaulay duration, 72.277. Second cash flow, 65.301. Third cash flow present value, 58.997. Fourth cash flow, 53.302. Fourth cash flow, 650.128. You take the present value of each cash flow and then you multiply it by the time. When are you going to get it? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Here's my present value of my time weighted cash flows. Present value of time weighted. So the present value, but now time weighted. 72.277, 65.301, 130.602, 58.997 times 3, 176.991, 53.302, 213.208, 650.128 times 5, 3,250.64. Now I want the sum of the present value of the time weighted cash flows. I got that to be 3,843.688. This is how you quantify, this is how you find Macaulay duration. It's a measurement in years. Add up the present value of all the future cash flows, 900. That's why today's price was 90, right? Today's price was 90. So the present value, 900. Take the larger number there, 843, 3,843.68 divided by 900. Okay, the present value, and then your present value time weighted. That works out to be 4.27 years. That is how you quantify Macaulay duration. All right, now the investor in this question held the bond how long? They sold it, let's see, it was a 5-year bond, and they sold it when? After year 3. All right, so Macaulay duration, Mackey, Mac minus the I. 4.27 minus the investor's time horizon, 3 years. Positive 1.27, positive, what does that mean? Short term. What dominates? Interest rate risk, market price. We hope rates go down so that the selling price goes up. All righty. Now, if duration gap is 0, if you held it exactly 4.27 years, if duration gap is 0, you're indifferent about rates going up or down. Okay, the upside on one would offset the downside on the other. All right, but here was positive 4.27. Okay, so now what did our actual yield turn out to be here? Our actual yield turned out to be what? 12.17. 12.17. That was greater than our initial yield to maturity. 12.17 was greater than our initial yield to maturity when the bond was purchased, 10.684. Why did we get a yield greater than our initial yield to maturity? It was a function of both the future value of the coupons, but it was dominated by what? Selling price. We scored. Rates went down. When we sold it, what was the yield when we sold it? When we sold it, the original yield to maturity was 10.684, but when we sold this bond, sorry about that, folks. When we sold this bond, 7% was the yield. So folks, upon sale, that yield, that market rate had gone down dramatically relative to the yield to maturity 3 years earlier, 7 versus 10.684. We scored. Yields down, selling price up. That's what explains why we got a return, a yield greater than our initial yield to maturity, which we said you will only earn if you hold that bond. It's held to maturity. All payments made on time, but most importantly, not only do you hold it to maturity, every coupon's reinvested at 10.684. Notice, we only reinvested the coupons. That was crappy, 5%. That was a crappy reinvestment rate, all righty? So the future value of the coupons, we didn't maximize that, but we did maximize the selling price. Okay, so whether yield's going up or down, whether that's good news or bad news is dependent upon your client's holding period, okay, their time horizon. Woo, baby, we got lots more to do, How you doing? You loving this stuff or what? Like, are you so glad you're here tonight? Do you feel bad for your friends and family or at the gym or at a bar? Right? Don't you feel bad for them? You're enriching your mind. You are doing mental calisthenics with me. You got, how do you like the word calisthenics? Sam, that's old school. You like that word calisthenics, don't you, Sam? That's old school. Sam, are you still there? Are you at the bar? Did you go to the gym? Where are you? Can you guys still hear me? Is anybody out there? All right, let's bang out a few more questions. You ready? Let me do some math questions here. Let me beat you up a little bit. You ready? Let me beat you up a little bit. Let's see. How much time do we have remaining? Yeah. Let's do some good stuff here. We got some good stuff to do. Let's do it. All righty, let's try this one. I want to beat you up, man, make you feel good. We do the hard stuff together. Let's see. 6 has got some math, but I think that's pretty easy. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Ready? We haven't seen any quarterly compounding. All right, you ready? They tell me I got a 6-year, 5%. Semi-annual pay, government bond priced at 97, 97% of par. The annual yield to maturity, stated annual yield. What is my stated annual rate based on quarterly compounding? My stated annual rate based upon quarterly compounding. All right, so I got to find my quarterly rate. I got to find my quarterly yield. I got to multiply it by 4, and there's my stated annual rate based upon quarterly compounding. All right, so let's see what we got. Step number 1, we got a price in 97, present value. I always make my present value my purchase price, my outflow, my cost. Okay, looks like my camera went out. Hold on, what's going on? Can you guys see me again? I don't know if you want to see me. I don't know. That's not such a good show. That's pretty scary. Show application. All right, there we go. All right, so my present value is 97. My future value is 100. All right, it's a semi-annual pay, 5% coupon. You ready? So the first time, my payment is not going to be 5. It's going to be 5 divided by 2, 2.5. First thing I got to find is my semi-annual yield. Then we're going to convert it to a quarterly yield. All right, so I'm going to find my semi-annual yield. I'm going to find my semi-annual. Then I'm going to convert that to quarterly. Then I'm going to take the quarterly, convert it to its stated annual rate based upon quarterly compounding. All righty, let's see, what else we got? We got a 6-year term. Now remember, semi-annual, 12 coupon payments. I'm going to solve for I. Now this is going to get me my semi-annual yield. This is going to get me my semi-annual yield. Semi-annual yield. All righty, so I solve for I get 2.797759. I'm a little anal. All right, there's my semi-annual yield. If I wanted my bond equivalent yield, I would simply multiply that by 2, and my bond equivalent yield would be 5.955. But that is not what they asked for. Okay, they want it based upon quarterly compounding. Okay, so I'm going to take my semi-annual yield. Got it. 2.7977. Now I want to convert 2.977, 2.977, 2.79. Oh, look at that. See how easy it is to make a silly mistake? 2.79. 2.7759, 2.79 7759. Okay, so that's my semi-annual yield. How do I convert this to quarterly? How do I take that semi-annual yield and convert it to quarterly? Well, how many quarters are in half the year? Confidence building question. There are 2 quarters in half the year. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 1 plus that semi-annual yield expressed as a decimal, 797759. So 1 plus my semi-annual expressed as a decimal. Now I'm going to raise this to 1/2. Why? There's 2 quarters in half the year. Then I'll subtract 1. So 1.02799, excuse me, 1.0279775. Raise to 1/2, subtract 1, 0.013892. That is my quarterly yield. So step 2 is complete. 0.013892. There is my quarterly, expressed as a decimal. Take that quarterly, 0.013892, multiplied by 4 quarters. We now get 0.055569, closest to 5.557. You would have gotten lucky. Okay. Oh, no, actually, you wouldn't have gotten lucky because the bond equivalent yield was 5.955. This is 5.557. You would have, so you would not have gotten lucky. Okay, my bond equivalent yield, that would have been a wrong answer choice. Okay, so 5.955 would be the most common wrong answer choice. Okay, another one. Come on, man. By the way, folks, this is indicative of what we do in the Saturday virtual classes. Let me tell you what we're not going to do on a Saturday virtual class, which is waste your valuable study time. We are not going to do simple, easy questions. We're looking to do hard questions. And you know where some of the hardest questions are? End of chapter in the CFA Institute material. And that sometimes is the highest level of application. So you know what we started brand new this year? Because so many students work our questions and never get to the end of chapter questions. So you know what we started doing? Saturday virtual classes, we are now working the end of chapter questions with you and some of the blue box examples. All right, now because those tend to be a lot harder. So we're trying to take the Saturdays and really utilize that time, that 3 hours. It's 9 to 12 on a Saturday. You're welcome to join us. You say, hey, Pete, I want to see it. Come this Saturday. I'm doing a level 2 equity. You want to see level 2 equity, free cash flow to firm, free cash flow to equity, residual income, great stuff. You're welcome. You can see what it's all about, but we like the hard questions. All right, we got an illiquid bond. We want to value it. So I got an illiquid 5-year 4.5% annual coupon bond. So 9.5, my payment is 4.5, and it's what? Annual pay. All right, beautiful. The problem is it's illiquid. What's the price? I don't know. So I've got to find some comparable bonds. Good. We identified 2 corporate bonds that have similar credit quality. Excellent. So I could plug in. So my future value is 100. I just need to plug in, well, what's the required rate of return so I can solve for the present value? So problem is I have neither of these bonds is a 5-year term. I got a 3-year and I got a 6-year. What the hell do I do now? Matrix pricing, no big deal. Okay, I need a 5-year term. I have a 3-year yield, similar credit quality, 3-year yield, but I need another 2 years to get to the 5-year. Okay, so I need another 2 years. They did not give me a 5-year. They gave me a short-term 3-year, a longer-term 6-year. All right, so I got the 6-year. I'm going to call that the longer term. I got the 3-year. The shorter term, well, my term difference, I got a 3-year term difference. 3-year term difference. All righty, this is what I got to do. I'm going to take this 2 divided by this 3. I need 2/3 of the difference in yield between the short term and the long term. 2/3 of that difference in yield. And as a general rule of thumb, folks, what does that yield curve look like? when we regress required rates of return, yield against time, as a general rule, the yield curve is positively sloped. Short term, medium term, long term. What might explain this? Liquidity preference. The longer you want me to give up my preference for liquidity, the longer you have in money, the higher my rate of return. All righty, so I'm going to take 2/3 of the difference in yield between the short term and the long term. And what am I going to do with that? I'm going to take the yield to maturity on the three-year term, the yield to maturity on the 3-year term, plus 2/3 of the difference in the yield between the short term, and this will be my required return on the 5-year. That's how we're going to come up with the required return on the 5-year. All righty, so let's do it. Bond A, where the hell's the yield to maturity? I don't see it. Bond B, where's the yield to maturity? I don't see it. So what do we got to do? We got to solve for it. So here we go. Won't take long. Here we go. Bond A, bond B. All right. Bond A, what's my given information? My quote unquote short term, 3-year term. I got a payment equal to 4. I got a present value, 101. I got a future value of 100. Solve for yield. I get a yield of 3.642. Bond B, what I called my longer term, my 6-year term, that has a payment of 6 as its coupon. It's got a present value. It's priced currently at 98. That's my outflow. Future value, I'll get back my principal plus my coupon. What's the yield on the longer term? I got that to be 6.412. I need the difference in yields between the 6-year, 6.412, and the 3-year, 3.642. I need the difference in yields. What is the difference in yields? I got that difference in yields to be, let's see, 2.71. 2.71. Okay, I need sorry about that. Let me put that back there. I need 2/3 of that difference. I need 2/3 of that difference in yield. Come on, don't do that to me. Oh, sugar daddy-o. Come on. All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Don't anybody go anywhere. Don't anybody go anywhere. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. I got to close that. Ooh. Okay, and then I got to open it again. Hold on. Pen stopped working. Not good, not good. Uh-oh. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. This might be God's way of saying, Pete, wrap it up, but hang with me, hang with me, hang with me. All right, so let me minimize this. Let me open this back up. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. All righty, show my application. I'm making a comeback. All right, let's get back where we were. Of course, it didn't save any of my numbers, but that's okay. So the long-term yield, change the color of my pen, expressed as a decimal, it doesn't matter, 0.06412. The short term, the 6-year, the 3-year, 0.03642. Difference in yield, 0.0271. Okay, so now on the 5-year illiquid bond, we said we've got a future value of 100. We've got a payment of 4.5. We have 5 payments. What we need is the yield. So I'm going to take the 3-year term, 0.03642, and add 2/3 of the difference in yield. What is 2/3 of 0.0271? 0.018467. 0.018467 is 2/3 of the difference in yield. So my required rate of return, 0.018467 or 1.8467%. That is my inferred required rate of return on that 5-year illiquid bond where we don't have a yield, a market rate. So I'm going to plug in now my 1.8467. So let's see. And no, that can't be. 0.03642 plus 0.018. That's 5 point. What are you doing? 5 point. See what happens? Pharmaceuticals, man, legal. 5.4887 is my required rate of return. 5.48. 5.4887. That's an ugly 8. 5.4887%. Solve for your present value. What is the price of this bond? I got that to be 95.7766. 95.7766. Now, if you're religious, you'll pray that's a choice and closest to choice B. So how did we do that again? I got a 5-year term. I got a payment of 4.5. I know my future value is 100. We are missing, because it's illiquid, we are missing the market rate. We're missing the market rate because it's illiquid. We don't have a yield on this bond. So we find two comparable corporate bonds in terms of credit quality comparable, but not term. So the shorter term is 3, the longer term is 6. Okay, we got a 3-year term, but I need another 2 years to get me what I need. 5 years is what I'm trying to price. 5 years is what we're trying to price. So we need to add 2 years. Problem is, I got a long-term bond of 6 years. I got a short-term bond of 3 years. Well, the time difference is 3 years. So I need 2 divided by 3. I need 2/3 of that difference in yield. So I'll take the 3-year yield, which we solve for, plus 2/3 of the difference in yield between the 6-year and the 3-year. That will get me my inferred yield, the market rate on the 5-year term. That's how we came up with the required rate of return. Okay, so once you see it once, that's it. There's your matrix, your movie, your matrix pricing. You got to love it. Did somebody say forward rates? Did I hear somebody say forward rates? Pete, can you do a forward rate question? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Forward rates. This is 2 for 1, folks. You're going to see this again in derivatives. This is how you find the fixed rate in a forward rate agreement, or the price, the fixed rate in a swap. It's the same logic, okay? So let me show you. They tell us, assume that all rates provided are effective annual rates. So folks, the 4-year spot rate equals 6.4. The 13-year spot is 6.25. What do you think the 9-year rate's going to be 4 years from now? So that's what we're trying to solve for. What do you think? What will, oh, don't do this to me again. Come on, man. That ain't right. Let's see. Oh, come on. All right, 1 second, 1 second. Come on, I want to do this question. I got to open it up again. Hang on. Hang on, I got a lot of stuff open. Computer's struggling here. All righty. So we want to know, what will the 9-year rate be 4 years from now? What will the 9-year rate be 4 years from now? This is the way you solve. What will 9-year rate be 4 years from now? Total time horizon. Step number 1, add it together. What's your total time horizon? 13 years. Okay, find for me the 13-year spot rate, 6.25%. Find for me the 4-year spot rate. The 4-year spot, 6.4%. Okay, this is what you do. You're going to talk to your grandma. You're going to say, hey, grandma, how would you like to lock up your money for 13 years? I would love this and earn 6. I'd sign up today. I'm risk averse. I would take 6.25 for 13 years. So you say, grandma, I could get you principal and interest for 13 years, 6.25%. Grandma says that sounds great. But hey, you know what, Pete? 4 years from now, I want to be liquid. Well, grandma, why do you want to be liquid in 4 years? Because I have lots of nieces, nephews, grandchildren who are going to be passing the CFA exam, and I want to give them lots of money after they pass level 3. So I only want to lock up my money for 4 years. What could you do for me? So I say, okay, grandma, how about we lock up your money for 4 years? I'll get you principal and interest, and I'll lock in for you 6.4% per year for 4 years. But she says, listen, I'm going to die in 13 years. What do I do for the other 9 years? What do I do then? Well, you'll roll your money over and earn the 9-year rate, albeit 4 years from now. Either side of the equation, what's your total time horizon? 13 years. Now you do some algebra. You ready? 1.0625 raised to 13. Divide that by 1.064 raised to 4. That's going to solve for 1 plus r raised to 9, the 9-year rate 4 years from now. So when you crunch your numbers, 1.0625 raised to 13 divided by 1.064 raised to 4, that works out to be 1.71597. Folks, this is 1 plus your holding period return. 71.59%, that is your cumulative return over 9 years. How do I annualize that? Geometric mean. Take 1 plus your holding period return, raise it to 1 over the number of years, 1 over 9, subtract 1. What's my annualized yield? 0.0618. Folks, that is your break-even rate. That is your break-even rate. If the 9-year rate 4 years from now turns out to be 6.18, you don't care if you're on the left side of the equation or the right side of the equation. That 6.18, that forward rate is a break-even rate. Now, if you say that's nuts, I think rates are going to be less than 6.18, then you want to be on the left-hand side of the equation. Okay, if you think rates are going to be less than 6.81, you would want to sell that forward rate agreement. But if on the other hand, you think rates are going to be greater than that 6.18, then you'd want to buy a forward rate agreement. But that's the price of that's the fixed rate. That's the rate we're gambling on. Let's try another one. See if you really understand it. Let's do it. One more. Our last one. Come on, man. We love this stuff. Why do we got to go? Why do we got to go? Why you want to go? You ready? We're just going to do this as annual compounding. Forget semi-annual. By the way, your answer choices are so far apart that you don't need to do semi-annual. Okay, you could just do it as annual compounding. All right, they want to know the 2-year forward rate, the 2-year rate 1 year from today. Stop right there. You start with your question. I want my 2-year rate 1 year from now. You ready? 2-year rate 1 year from now. What's your total time horizon? My total time horizon is 3 years. Step number 1 is complete. 2-year rate 1 year from now. All righty. Now I'm looking for my spot rates. I'm looking for my spot rates. 0 coupon spot rates. The appropriate cash discount rate for a single cash flow coming 1 year from now. What is my 1 year spot rate? The appropriate discount rate, okay, my spot rate, 1.87, 1.8, what was it? 1.872%. That's my 1 year spot. What's my 3 year spot rate? The appropriate discount rate for a single cash flow coming in 3 years, 2.058%. 2.058%. There's my 3 year spot rate. Okay, there's your 3 year spot rate. So you say, hey, grandma, how would you like to lock up your money for 3 years? I would not lock up my money for 3 years at 2.058, not even me. So grandma, I'll get you principal and interest. principal and interest. And I'm going to get you 1.025058 principal and interest for 3 years. Grandma says, it makes me nervous because I know my friends here are going to pass CFA very quickly. I want to be more liquid. I only want to lock up my money for 1 year. Okay, Grandma, lock up your money for 1 year, and you're going to get principal and interest 1.01872 expressed as a decimal raised to 1 year. She says, well, what do I do a year from now? Well, then, Grandma, you'll roll your money over and you will earn the 2-year rate, albeit 1 year from now. Total time horizon, either side of the equation, 3 years. Now you solve for X. Divide both sides by 1.01872 raised to 1. So 1.02058 raised to 3 divided by 1.01872 raised to 1. That's 1 plus R raised to 2. When you crunch those numbers, you're going to get 1.043 1.043485. I can't read my own handwriting. Now, 4.3, this is your cumulative return over 2 years. That's not your answer. That's your cumulative return. We want it annualized, geometric mean. So we take 1 plus that holding period return, raise it to 1 over 2, subtract 1, you get 0.021511, 2.151. By the way, I solved this twice. I once did it semi-annual as well as annual. The difference was 0.021510 versus 0.021511. That was the difference between doing semi-annual versus annual compounding. So even when they say it's semi-annual, unless they give you a ridiculous choice out 6 decimals, you could just go ahead and answer it annual compounding. All righty. All right, folks, we are done for the night. I know you are excited to get to the library and review. We sincerely thank you all for your time and attention tonight. I know it's free again monetarily, but we're certainly not free in terms of your time. So we want to thank you for attending. Our goal is to earn your business. All kidding aside, as you know, passing or not passing the CFA, getting the charter could change the trajectory of the rest of your professional life and possibly your personal life as well. Because when you have more options, when you have the charter, I can't guarantee you're going to be a gazillionaire. There's lots of people without the charter doing very well. Lots of people with the charter don't do so well. It just opens doors, right? And it gives you tremendous, Google the job opportunities for somebody with a charter. It's nothing better than having options, and look at the financial reward on average. It's worth your time and effort. If you have an MBA from Harvard, you don't need the charter. Assuming you don't have an MBA from Harvard or Wharton or wherever, the charter is going to make a difference for you. All right, so you got to select the right course. We shop around for the silliest of things, but you got to have an approach. You got to have the people in your camp that are going to provide you the tools to help you succeed. It's watching the pre-recorded lectures, working the practice questions in our software. Saturdays, we will work together and apply not all, but a lot of those end of chapter questions. Okay, and then you're reviewing, man, and you should do really well. But the goal is not to just barely pass level 1. You need to kick ass on level 1, because level 2 is level 1 on steroids, and you got to have a good foundation, the quant, the accounting, the equity, the debt, the portfolio management, the ethics, man. This is what's going to follow you into levels 2 and 3. So as a thank you for attending, you have the 25% off the retail price. Yeah, and the offer expires obviously Monday, March 18th. You could buy now. If you don't plan on studying, you could lock in today's price with that. But if you could even spread the word. So if you have people that couldn't make it tonight and they're interested, you could absolutely share the discount code with them. What we are also looking for, and there's additional discounts that are not listed here. If you're at a major firm, a bank, you're working at Deutsche Bank, you're working at Merrill Lynch, you're at JP Morgan, you're at Goldman Sachs, Deutsche, wherever. You know what? And there's a whole cohort, a ton of you studying together. We could get you even better pricing. Or if you're still at a university, you're at an MBA program, and you're like, hey, Pete, you know what? You know, I got 20 people that would love to sign up. We will get you a group pricing that's even better than this 25% discount. If you're interested in any of that, please reach out to us. Okay, here's our email, and we're happy to do that for you. Sam, Doug, Chad, anything I left out that you all want to add? Anything I left out? Hello? Sam, you still there? Hello? Anybody there? Oh my God, I hope all this time you guys could hear me. Oh my gosh. All right. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I think that's it. So thank you all for attending. It's been my pleasure. Good luck studying. We wish you all the best, and hopefully we've earned your business, and we're going to see you guys in class. Looking forward to it. Good luck, folks. Bye, guys.
He quit just he was talking about going overtime, but just 5 minutes, thank goodness. Well, from what little I've learned about Peter, he does like to talk. Yeah, no, he's very animated. Yeah.
I mean, you're on a regular call with him and he doesn't chit chat, but this stuff he can go all night. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, energy is almost more important than having total comprehensive understanding of the subject. Because if you're a dry presenter, doesn't matter how spot on you are, you're going to lose most people.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I can force myself to listen even to terrible presenters, because I've seen really knowledgeable guys from Wall Street that, oh, they turn off a room within 5 minutes. But I'd see, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. I can see through all of his foibles as a presenter because he's got some kernels of knowledge. If you can put up with all the, let me think, but as long as you're reasonably competent, having good pace and being animated like Peter is, that's what it requires to be successful as an instructor.
Yeah, when I was looking through the Kaplan course that James bought, I was like watching some of the lectures and I was like, there's no chance I could listen to this guy for an hour and a half. Like, this is an hour and a half video. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't, it's like a blank screen.